not had the opportunity for better things to happen with our mother's house.
That's good. So does that mean it can open up the door to any gender in a sense, so then men can do it?
Sassy Sisters does have events where men are allowed to join. Most include alcohol.
That's probably why.
That's probably why. Somebody's got to drive home.
Exactly.
So we bring our designated drivers. No, we do a lot of fundraisers every year that bring in money for our mother's house. And they take a young lady who maybe has been through a bad marriage or is a single mother of some sort. They'll give her a place to live for 2 years, educate her, and help her find a job.
Wow, that's really good.
Yes, it's an amazing program. Huh. It really is. So, like I said, we do a lot of charity drives for that.
Well, that's good, because I knew that your group did some networking and some events and all this other stuff, but I didn't know the whole overall.
Right.
Because in my brain, obviously, Guy, I'm thinking like Sassy Sisters are all sitting there having a little wine, talking about networking and having a good time. But then, of course, you know, on the other flip side, the men are sitting there with their scotch and their brandy and their cigars.
Well, we've allowed them to come in, but they're not allowed to talk. They have to sit there and be really quiet.
Oh, well, that's no fun.
Well, yeah, it can be.
Well, I know I'll never be invited to this group because I can't stop talking.
Well, you would have to have a girlfriend or a spouse that was in the organization, I think, before they would be allowed to
You
go.
mean I can't be your plus one as a friend?
No.
Wow, thanks, Kate. That's okay. When the men's forum group is, I'll see what I'll get you in for a plus one.
Well, all right. That'll work. Well, we've got about 1 minute before we have to break away. So let's talk about Planet Fitness. Now, I don't know if anybody ever knew this or not, but yesterday the County of Manatee voted on the mask responsibilities of its constituents and its populace. And now everyone has to wear a mask no matter where you go. Whether it's inside or outside, it doesn't make any difference. And that is the new ruling. So if you ain't got a mask, you ain't going to go.
So what you're telling me is I got to sit at home and do absolutely nothing?
Well, I can think of worse things to do. I'm still looking for that ankle bracelet, so, you know, I don't have to leave the house.
Well, just like we mentioned with the stimulus check, well, if the government wants to pay for more stimulus checks and get them in a hurry to us, I'll gladly stay home.
Oh, absolutely. Be more than happy to do so.
Yeah.
So what else is going on?
Well, the thing with the Planet Fitness, but we'll go a little bit more into this with a little break.
All right. We'll be right back.
During these difficult times, we understand how important it is to stay healthy and safe. With so many of us confined to our homes and not being able to work, we feel the financial burden more than ever. Paramount Tax Relief is here to help. Need to file your taxes but your local tax shop is closed?
We can help!
Our certified tax agents will work with you over the phone to get your unfiled tax returns in order. Have you received a wage garnishment notice or bank levy?
We can help!
Our legal team will negotiate with the IRS to remove garnishments, levies, and penalties. Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS and don't know what to do?
We can help!
Our professional experts have been in your shoes. They are compassionate, honest, and will find a resolution plan that's best for you. Call for a free phone consultation at 1-800-524-9701. That's 1-800-524-9701. 1-800-524-9701. Paramount Tax Relief is here to help.
And we are back.
So, as I was going to say before the break is, with the Planet Fitness mask requirement, as you're saying, is now they're saying with the gym, I don't know if it's for every gym or just Planet Fitness, is basically you have to have the mask to wear to come in and work out. If you're unable to because of health issues or anything like that that require you not to wear a mask, they will freeze your account, according to the article, and they'll let you go from there.
Well, basically the way I took that was if you don't have a mask and you have a membership, you cannot exercise no matter who you are or what your membership is. A mask, period.
Correct. But they're still going to, if you can't, let's just say I have severe breathing problems and I can't wear the mask in a sense, they will look at that and then they'll just basically say, oh, okay, well, we'll freeze your membership until this either pandemic is over or whatever. But that's what the article is kind of going with. But that was all going to start on August 1st, which is coming up really fast, people.
Yeah. 2 days?
Is it that? Wow, you're right.
Yeah.
I can't even believe that July went this fast.
Well, it happens.
Well, it does. It does. But to bring up another little topic, which was funny, is I know we mentioned it in the last episode about Walmart and the first time taking pandemic to the extreme and they're giving their employees off. Well, guess what, people? Target's doing it now. Target's following suit with Walmart, and they're saying, you know what? We're going to give our employees off for Thanksgiving, which now has 2 big brand names right now. So will the other big brand names follow suit?
I doubt that all of them will, but I do anticipate there to be other closings because Black Friday is when they're going to be expected to be back at work. They're not getting the whole weekend. They're getting Thursday. Well, that's it.
Well, here's the big caveat, though, that they're talking about, and they're still trying to debate this with Target and a couple other stores, is we all know, think about back in the 1980s when the Cabbage Patches and all the other things were out, people mobbed the store, knocking people over and all this running around all over the place.
Oh, it's going to happen again.
They don't want the people to come to the stores in drones and flocks. So they're thinking of ideas of how to lessen the impact of people to come there. So maybe more shopping online to fight with
Walmart's
Amazon.
got the best trick. Make them stand in line. Got a mask? We'll let you in. If you don't have a mask, you're not coming in. And you're only going to come in a few people at a time because you have to wait for other people to leave.
Well, the best thing I remember is when I worked for a big brand name, when I worked for a Black Friday, we actually had to go out the store at least 10 minutes early before the store actually officially opened. And we actually had tickets. And we walked down and said, are you here for the certain product? They said yes or no. We gave them each a ticket. So therefore, if they were to stand in a line outside and they weren't allowed to come in, you do not have to worry about like running through and saying, oh, I got to get this before it goes out. It would have been fine.
So how many Cabbage Patch dolls did you give away?
Oh, I didn't get any Cabbage Patch dolls, but I have a funny story about that Black Friday event that I can laugh at now. I didn't laugh at back then, but 5 minutes before I was about to go out and give out the tickets, we had to call an ambulance because there was a huge family outside with the grandmother, the mother, the daughter, all the granddaughters, everything. And the grandmother had a heart attack. So the EMS had to come, and they were probably like the second people in line. And basically, I still remember to this day, the EMS has put her on the stretcher, had the air oxygen mask on her, getting her in the thing. She ripped off the mask and looked at my manager and said, I was here for the laptop. I was here for the laptop. And my boss looked and said, lady, you just had a heart attack. You'll get your laptop. Don't worry about it. But that was the mentality.
Well, it's kind of like when, what was it? The MGM in Las Vegas. When it burned down, they had to pull people off the seats.
Wow.
People would have died. They were sitting there playing the slots as Rome burned, and nobody would get up and leave. They had to bring through all the police and the security guards, the EMTs.
Hey, that almost sounds like the whole thing with the lotto tickets. Did you just sit there and do all the scratch off?
Exactly.
That's great. Well, talking about Las Vegas, this brings up another great article that I saw, is one of the big events that is held there every January to February, somewhere in there, is CES, the Consumer Electronics Showcase.
Oh, and that's usually a big one.
Yes, they had 170,000 people there last year. So this year they're not going to have all these people there. They've already announced that they're going to do a virtual show, and they're going to make the show a lot smaller. So when they say, and this is what I'm trying to get off at, is if they're saying the show's going to be smaller, does that mean they're only going to a certain amount of people in at the venue for one. But then the virtual side I get. You're going to have to buy into a virtual package, which I've actually seen some of those online where they can go from $500 up plus minus, and they'll give you all these caveats to say.
And what kind of a caveat am I going to get for $500?
So I don't know. Everything's different. But the one I was looking at was saying if you spend like $2,000, you get all 4-day events. You get all backstage access to all these different things that you can see virtually. But if you pay $100, you're only getting one-day event, and you're only going to get this. Mm-hmm. So they're going to get you.
Yeah, they are.
You just don't know how they're going to get you.
Well, I figure when the products roll out and we finally know what is actually out there that they're going to promote, then I'll go online, just like I do for everything else.
It's true. It's almost like you just wait for Apple to come in the fall and say, hey, look, we got a new product. You're like, oh, new product? That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
But they're going to be starting the 4-day virtual event, I think January 6th, they said.
Wow.
So that's going to be interesting.
Yes, it is. I'm not sure how that's going to go. I'm kind of used to going to a convention and picking something up and looking at it and trying to figure out how it works, and that's going to be difficult from a computer standpoint.
Well, especially if you're going to show like new products that are coming out that you want to like announce and say this is the latest greatest. I mean, we're right here right now doing podcasting and talking on a podcast show, but there's a big event that happens in Orlando, Podfest, and I would love to go to. I wanted to go to Podfest this year, but I couldn't go. But I wanted to go there, check out all the new equipment they have there, and see what's going on. But
yeah, that would definitely be an interesting convention to go to. But just, as a warning, fair warning to everyone, they have a lot of get-rich-quick schemes at those conventions. So buyer beware.
Oh, I'm only there for the equipment. I just want to see what the latest and greatest equipment is.
Oh, I only go for the food.
Well, you go for the food, I go for the equipment, and we'll meet somewhere in the middle, and we'll talk and say how was everything.
Now you'll just have to find me at the grazing trough.
Well, that's no fun. I'll just have to use one of the new speakers that I have and go, Katie, is there a Katie on the floor?
I have visions of, what is that show, Big Bang Theory? Katie.
Yeah, just knock 3 times. But it's really Penny, but it's like Katie. Just make sure you answer.
Oh, I don't know. I hear that knocking. It makes me not want to answer.
Well, that's always a good thing to hear. But one of the things that we like to talk about is, well, not one of the main things, but one of the things that we're talking about a lot is the different things, how this pandemic has hurt us. And like I said, we're trying to find articles. And we have a bunch of articles that we're going to lead off with a little bit soon on them. But we wanted to talk a little bit more about this and how these things are impacting us in every other way.
Yeah, because things are sure different now than they were when we were younger.
Explain, Katie.
Okay, well, back in the dinosaur days, we actually went outside and we played, and we swam in 100-gallon drums because that was as close to a pool as we could get to. And this is true. This is true. We would walk to school, and in the winter, and I kid you not, Mom would save the bread bags and put our feet in them before we put on our shoes so that our feet didn't get wet. And then she would rubber band bags over our hands so that our gloves didn't get wet. Needless to say, by the time we got to school, we were so frozen we didn't care. It was a 3/4-mile walk. But it was uphill all the way, and you had to stop, have your lunch, and then go on.
Wow. I have to admit, I've had my mom do the baggies on the feet and all this other stuff and rubber band them. Not on the gloves, though.
Oh, yeah. I was the scrawny one of the family. You'd never know it now, but, when you weigh 60 pounds most of your life, your mother is always afraid you're going to catch pneumonia and die because there's not enough of you to save.
So we're just going to bag you up. I'm just picturing in my head, did you ever see the movie A Christmas Story? Everyone's had
yes.
seen it. I just think of you as a kid, a cat movie, he's like running, ah!
Yeah, but I was always smart enough not to stick my tongue on a flagpole, okay?
Oh, well, what if someone double, triple dog dared you?
Oh, we'd have been in a fist fight.